absence?
Yes, we have one apology, Chair, from Councillor Doherty.
Thank you. Item number 2. Are there any declarations of interest?
No.
Oh.
No.
Number 3, public participation. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, public participation will be dealt with via the submission of comments or questions to the council prior to the meeting commencing. Anyone wishing to submit a comment or a question to the council must do so by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, the 24th of November,
I'm having
2020.
tech issues here, but I'll back in as soon as you can.
None have been received, Chair.
Thank you, Town Clerk. Item number 4, to confirm the minutes of full council held on the 30th of September 2020, pages 1 to 3.
Can I hear now?
So are those agreed, Chair?
Sorry, to those who agreed.
Lovely, thank you.
Item number 5, planning applications. Erection of Class A1 foot store with associated access to car parking, outline permission for the erection of 2 drive-through restaurants. Members are asked to consider a response. Deadline for comments the 5th of December 2020, page 4.
Thank you, Chair. You'll notice from the minutes of your last meeting that this again is the Aldi food store. We are being reconsulted on it. If I can share my screen, I will show you what the proposed site plan is for the Aldi site there. So the Aldi site is to the north there. Okay, and coming down.
Don't think you're sharing anything at the minute.
I'm not sharing. Sorry. I thought I was. I'm looking at it. Is it not happened? Share screen. Let me find. There we go. Yes. Right. Lovely.
That's it.
Okay. I'll start again. So for the north of the site, you've got the Aldi food store, and then coming down with its associated car parking. Coming down to. These are outlined for the coffee drive-through and the restaurant drive-through. And then you've got the access points here down at the bottom, pretty close to Switch Island. Now, you gave some comments on the minutes for the application. Last time, those comments you can either resubmit, and I would advise you to do so because that, you know, I can send the letter again because I sent the letter following the meeting last time, that you can then send the letter to say this is, you know, what we still want you to consider. However, what I will say is that the letter merely queries the level of 106 payments. Having gone through the issues round and about land east of Maghull, what I would suggest is that we firm that up somewhat and do a paragraph essentially for every piece of major application, every piece of development within Maghull that says Maghull Town Council would seek Section 106 payments to go towards the Section 123 list within our neighbourhood plan, which includes things like improvements to sporting grounds, putting in a running track, improvements to parks, etc. Because we're not being considered when it comes to Section 106 payments moving forward. And in fact, we have received no Section 106 payments at all. It's not even been mentioned in any of the heads of terms moving forward since we've put our neighbourhood plan into place. So, so if you're okay with that, I will add that paragraph to say that we need to be considered for Section 106 payments for every major application that comes through in future.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
Fine with that.
Great.
Can I
Right.
ask a question? You know, the
Yeah.
106 money, wouldn't that go to Molyneux Ward?
Yes, technically it would go to Molyneux Ward, but we are asking as part of our neighbourhood plan that consideration be given to giving us 106 money, because don't forget it can go
As
anywhere.
well as, or
As well as,
okay.
as well as.
Because
So
that Molyneux Ward money would have to be spent in Molyneux Ward, wouldn't it?
It would be, and we haven't got an awful lot of Molyneux Ward in McGull. However, what we are saying is any development that comes along impacts the people of McGull in a way that in order to make the development acceptable, we need to consider Section 106 money for ourselves. Now, Sefton can ask for 106 money for themselves, but also for other people. So, for example, the land east of McGull, for some reason best known to itself, is giving, £150,000 to the Canal and Rivers Trust to signpost people to the coast. So, bearing that in mind, that Sefton will manage the Section 106, but they won't have all of the money for themselves, as it were, if that makes sense. Okay.
Okay.
Angela, can I ask a question, please?
Yeah.
Is the junction going to be reconfigured again? And who's going to pay for it if it does have to be reconfigured?
The switch. It's a good question, and I haven't looked at the application in any detail to be able to say who's going to deal with it. Currently, what would happen is where the junction is now. Do you mean the junction at
well, the whole
Dover's
area
Road
is reconfigured, hasn't it? They've added an extra set of lights. Well, obviously, there's going to have to be another set of lights now to people coming southbound into the site.
Yes, there will be. What will happen is normally that's dealt with by a different section. It's usually a Section 38 payment to deal with highways, and that is taken into account.
I see. Right.
All right. So
Okay,
essentially, the developer will pay for it.
Yeah.
But Sefton will carry out the works.
No, it's just going to cause more chaos, isn't it?
Well, you mentioned that last time, Councillor Hughes, and that's what I put in the letter, that we were concerned that I think very specifically about the pedestrian crossing that was already there. And then if you added another set of lights, were they going to take away the pedestrian crossing and make that a traffic light stroke pedestrian crossing?
Okay, thank you, Angela. Thanks for that.
Councillor Lloyd.
Thanks. Can I ask, is there any details on what the coffee shop and the drive-through or the restaurant's going to be?
No,
it's
an out. It may well be a Costa, but it's currently an outline. So which means that they'll be concentrating on the access going in there, with a reserved matters application to come after that, which will deal with exactly where it's going to be sited, what the design of it is going to be, and possibly who it's going to be.
At that point, could you raise your concerns?
You could. What will happen is, with an outline, if an outline application is passed, then the development is agreeable in principle.
Yeah.
What you're doing with a reserved application is arguing about the nitty gritty. Then are you gonna do it so it's black clad or grey clad? Are you going to do it so it's this big or that big? So that's what you're dealing with it. But certainly you would be consulted as a council on that application, and you would be able to raise matters again to say, we still have issues regarding the access and what the proposals have been put forward. We still don't think cover the issues. You can still make a comment on a reserved matters the same way that you can on an outline.
Yeah, because it would depend on what type of outlet it was going to be.
Yes.
So,
I think we can safely say that there are some fast food outlets that are more popular than others.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
And obviously, concerns about the smell. If someone lives in and around.
Well, there's issues around that. There's sometimes, I have known it, where there's issues around litter, where they actually have a number plate recognition system. So when people have dumped rubbish, the receipt is sometimes in there, but it has the number plate on it so that you can actually do them for fly tipping. I don't know if that's going to come to McGull. It would be interesting to see if it did.
You get the issue of more people just turning up.
Yeah.
As in walking away up the road and then just throwing it on the floor.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay.
Councillor Sharp?
Councillor Sharp, yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this last time, Angela, but you know the front of the site, you know, bordering the Northway. I just wondered if they could increase the the screening there for prevents, to reduce pollution of light, vehicle pollution. And because I feel really sorry for the people who live in the flat roofed houses across the road there, because that junction means that all the traffic's going to stop and start all day long. And I've discovered from the Sefton Council some time ago that currently they've measured 20,000 vehicles go through that junction every day, which is 7.2 million a year. And that's only the start of it, really, because when you think of all these extra houses going to going to Liverpool, you increase traffic, and post-Brexit traffic, people using the docks more from Switch Island or whatever, that's going to increase the traffic even more. So all the stop-start traffic is going to have a knock-on effect for the local residents across the road there. So anything that can be done to to screen it and reduce the pollution of light and exhaust fumes, I'd like to think that we consider it. One last thing I did mention is that on the other side of the road, I asked Aldi separately some time ago if they would consider putting hedging in like they have by Iceland, and the response back was perhaps realistic. They said that even if they took the tarmac out behind the fencing on the other side of the road and put hedging into the same height as Iceland, it might affect the integrity of the road, which does rise marginally towards the end of that site, towards Switch Island. But if anything could be considered, it'd be fantastic, and as well as it being sort of seasonal as well, so it just doesn't look so grim in the winter as well. When it all dies back, because generally speaking, from the plans, they're putting British natives in, which lose the leaves, in the winter, and it looks grim enough in that area already without trees and being greened up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop sharing now so that I can just see everybody. Right.
Councillor Carragher.
Yeah, there was on that's round the. You've moved the picture now, Angela.
I'll share it again.
Round the plan. No, round the plan. There was certain parts where it was saying unable to survey because of dense vegetation.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, dense vegetation to me immediately states wildlife. Now, we all know we've got a big wildlife, especially around that area, because there's deer over in Jubilee. We've got hedgehogs, foxes, wild birds. What impact have they given us? Any idea the impact on the wildlife, bats, hedgehogs, birds? Because hedgehogs have just been, during lockdown, designated as an endangered species.
There is an ecology report in the documentation. I'm not going to propose to read it now, but they have submitted an ecology report.
But they haven't surveyed that area, so that's dense vegetation, which suggests to me that's where wildlife lives. Doesn't matter about what you're doing, that's where they live, and any impact to building is going to have an impact on their habitat. Right.
Do you want me to put that in the response?
Yeah. Especially with the hedgehogs, because we have got a lot of hedgehogs here, and I'm on hedgehog watch, and the most hedgehogs in the country was spotted in Maghull. Right, We've got a massive population of hedgehogs here, and they were designated as being endangered. So if that's going to impact on the habitat of hedgehogs, that's going to be a big issue. Right,
I'll mention that. Councillor Sayers, did you want to come in?
Yeah, only a very quick one, Angela. Just going back to the junction. I couldn't see on the map, but did they take on board the fact that they should move the pedestrian crossing to that junction? Because I know in the past we said to them when they were first thinking of it, people aren't going to walk down to the zebra crossing to get across. They're going to try and cross at the junction.
Let me have a look at this. It's certainly, we're not seeing what's in there. I suspect I'd have to look at the traffic management plan, but I can certainly have a look at it after the meeting and see, because I'll just reiterate again that we don't want people trotting down. You don't want traffic light after traffic light after traffic light. They need to amalgamate them. Really
you could get rid of one set, which is the pedestrian crossing, which goes down over the hill. But also from a point of view of pedestrian safety, people aren't going to walk past that junction down to the zebra crossing, cross over, go down the slope, cross back over, and then walk back to the oldie. They're going to try and get across at the traffic lights there.
They are.
The old, basically.
Right. I'm going to stop sharing again.
You mean by the old, at the end near the old pub?
No, the junction of the Alt will stay the same, but as you go further down, where it starts to rise to go up over the motorway, there's a pedestrian crossing there.
Yeah.
And then it goes down the slope, because obviously the one side of the carriageway is higher than the other, and then goes off onto the Cheshire lines. And it's just another set of traffic lights, really. If you could get rid of that and bring it forward and put it at the junction of the Oldie, and it serves both purposes then. If you want to get across to the Cheshire lines.
Basically where the start of the flat roofed houses are.
Yeah. But it's going to be a junction anyway.
Yeah.
So you may as well incorporate. Otherwise, you're going to have another set of traffic lights and more start because that pedestrian crossing actually links to where the houses end. So you're going to have a traffic stop there as well. There's more houses. It goes right the way along. Yeah.
Councillor Carr has indicated he'd like to speak.
Sharp face, sorry.
Right, and then Councillor Carr.
Just to add to the ecology concerns, I understand that they're taking out quite a lot of the vegetation at the back to accommodate the road to service the car park. But we're actually currently in negotiation with the landowner and Mersey Rivers Trust to see what can be done with the field, the huge field behind there, to make it into a possible nature reserve. So there's a lot more assessment work to be done, but we're hoping to get, if it all goes well, a submission into DEFRA for large funding to mid-January to actually do something with that field. But there's a lot more work to be done, so that would improve the ecology of the area and hopefully connect that field, which could become a sort of a nature reserve and more, connected with Cheshire Lines and Jubilee Wood and Lump Meadows and Roughly Wood. But it's a very ambitious suggestion at the moment, but there's some very influential people who are keen to make this happen. So we should hear something. Well, I think there's an assessment taking place next week to see where we go with it, and they're trying to get in a submission to DEFRA for funding, probably mid-January if it all goes well. But so that's just something to add on to the ecology aspect of the area.
Councillor Carr.
Thanks, Chair. As it's in my ward, and I've met with the Aldi and the residents on a number of occasions, obviously social distancing in obviously the residents' back gardens that back onto Aldi's development. Now their concerns particularly was the access to the field behind where the guy wanted to build houses for many, many, many years, but there's never been any access to it. And their fear was offering an access point through this development onto that field to allow further development. Now, I don't know what your considerations are for future development of Maghull, but I think the expansion of land east of Maghull and add this to it is not going to go down very well with anyone. With regards to the nature reserve and what's been going on regarding the brook at the back of those houses has never been treated by the Environment Agency or Canal and River Trust because it's never been accessible. Fortunately, Aldi are clearing that brook so it can be maintained and managed, and obviously the floodwaters throughout Maghull will be alleviated somewhat by the water flow that will be able to flow through there. That has over the years been an issue, been a major issue, particularly for those residents there. The traffic lights that were put in the new junction for Dover Road, there's been issues with the filters on those. Previously, they were filtered from Dover Road, Liverpool Road South onto the main carriageway. I've asked for that to be reassessed, to put the filters back on, to actually make the flow as it was before. With regards to moving the pedestrian crossing to further down the junction to where the access for vehicles into the store is, it's unlikely that's going to happen because they've accommodated pedestrian services at the lights at Dover Road. Now, to have such a short distance between traffic lights, and then an additional pedestrian crossing on that will interfere with the flow of traffic coming from Switch Island. So the Switch Island flow has got to be controlled as much as the Dover Road junction flow. The flow of traffic has reduced somewhat with the opening of junction 1 of the M58. So the traffic issues aren't as bad as they were. They've been improved a little from the M58 junction because a lot of traffic is going on the M58 coming off junction 1. The residents that I've spoken to are in support in principle of the project and it being developed. There's one guy who lives right on the corner of Liverpool Road who's concerned about his screening from the vehicles, from the car parking issues. I've had no issues from the residents across the road with the flat roofs. The only issues I had was previous issues regarding the car showroom with the big floodlights that used to shine in their houses. Now they're not going to have big floodlights anymore. They're going to have floodlights flowing towards the store rather than towards the houses. So in principle, I, as one of the ward councillors there, support this project and support the development of it. And I'd actually support the 106 funding being transferred to Maghull Town Council to be developed for the Maghull community, because this is a Maghull development. So therefore, I'd like to see that money placed within Maghull Town Council. Now, if it adds any weight to your letter to the developer, let them know you have the support of one of the ward councillors for Molyneux Ward to actually deliver that 106, because I can see where the money's being spent then. Once it goes in, no disrespect to Sefton Council, once it goes into the Sefton Council's coffers, it becomes difficult to analyse exactly where it's going. That's it. Thank you.
Councillor Frank Sharp.
Tony, could you possibly contact me sort of tomorrow with an update on what the proposals are on that field? It's actually in Park Ward, the field, but there's a few developments I'd like to share with you if it's all possible tomorrow. You know, that's not yet for public knowledge. You know,
yeah, sensitive. As I said, the major concern was allowing access to that field. That the residents really did not want that to happen, because once access is gained, development becomes a major issue for them.
Yeah, I'm not 100% aware of their concerns about that, but this is quite a separate development, you know, that would negate the possibility of houses being ever built on there. Yeah.
No more questions?
Lovely. Okay, then what I'll do is, bearing in mind your comments, I'll rewrite the letter that I sent previously, including the section 106 comments, and we'll take it from there. Okay.
Yeah.
Item number 6, minutes for noting. Members are asked to note the following. Amenities, 23rd of September 2020. Pages 5 to 11, and community services on the 19th of August 2020, pages 12 to 15.
Very lovely, Tom.
Well, number 7, website update. Members are asked to consider the report on a new website for the council, pages 16 to 25.
Right, okay, folks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand over to Phil, who'll talk you through the new website, what we're hoping to do with it, why we need it, all right, and then you can make any comments. I'm making him host because he's going to show you what it's going to look like and the features of it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Am I good to go, Angela?
You are the host now.
Okay, let's see if we get this work. Bear with us. Where's it gone? No. There we go. There we go. Can everyone see that?
Yeah, but that isn't the website.
No, it's okay. I'll take it onto the website now.
Hmm.
Is that better?
No.
That is the website as it is. What you? Oh, you're not seeing that?
No. We're seeing your Teams thing.
All right. Where that's come from? I'm seeing. Let's try again.
Oh, we nearly saw.
Just saw it.
I think we nearly saw it.
He's nearly saw it and it disappeared there. Let's try this.
There we go.
Got it. Oh, that's better. Sorry.
There we go.
For some reason, it was showing me the website, but not you. But there we go. We got there in the end. I put this up obviously because the screenshot I sent don't do it justice. We've been working on the new website for a couple of months now with NetWise. We felt the need to change the website provider because the old website provider was using older technology. It wasn't as acceptable, wasn't as accessible and easy to change. It needed modernizing. I'm no expert, but the software that we're using on this one is WordPress, which seems to be the modern, up-to-date format that people are using. Other councils use it. And the guys who've helped develop this from NetWise are working with a number of parish councils. Assure us, looking at them, it was a step up from what we've got now. We did check a number of options, and NetWise did seem to offer the best service, particularly the fact that they can give us a private area for councillors to work through. They use as message room. We can put documents in there. We can put policies and procedures there, which will all make it much more user-friendly for yourselves and make it more practical in terms of a communication tool. I hope you agree that the front page that we've got there is a bit more aesthetically pleasing. I did put in that some points about the menu here. So, for example, if we click on news, hopefully it'll work. You can put news items in there very easily, which we can't do at the moment, and it'll come up. I've just populated this with recent things that have coming up. We've still got, I'm not picking on people randomly, but we've still got pictures of yourselves with your profiles and your declarations of interest. So behind that, I'll use you, Jonathan, if you don't mind. So all that is still there and easily changed, easily accessible. Okay. Let's go back a bit. All the minutes of council meetings, information for the public about council meetings are all contained on the menu, easily accessible to people. And we've broken it down as we have now to the various different committees and full council meetings that we've got. The key financial information is available, which is a legal requirement. People can easily access that as and when they need to. Alex has kindly broken down the parks, of which there are many, as I'm sure you're aware, with the sports facilities. That is still a work in progress because we want to put more detail on that and make it easier for people to understand as to where the facilities are actually located. Sadly, the events part of the moment is blank because there's been no events going on. We've put a brief bit in about the town, which is the local area character assessment, but we're looking to update that as soon as we can, really. Input from yourselves, again, welcome on that. But that dates back to 2017, which was used for you originally when you were doing the surveys. The neighbourhood plan is on there, which people can access. This is going to play. Yes, it is going to play. So people can access that very easily. Again, we can adapt that as and when we need to. It's as long and as short as you need. I put a section in on new build developments, thinking particularly of land east of Maghull, which people can, we can fill the details in there as and when, and particularly about the hearing. The archive section is still a work in progress because, as I've discovered, there are masses and masses and masses of photographs in particular and historical documents that we need to get across and make sure that people can access them. One of the legal requirements we had was an accessibility statement, which NetWise kindly did for us. So that explains how that works. and ticks the legal boxes and the regulations that we need to subscribe to, making sure that we've got that. And the other hidden plus for this site at the moment is that in the event of Operation London Bridge being enacted, this will front page of the website will standardly change to a black screen with a picture of the deceased royal on, which will save us a lot of headaches and scrambling to get across to do it. And they do that automatically. What I'd like councillors to consider is that if they need a bit of training on how to use the website and how best to use the forum area, I'm happy to do that and arrange that with NetWise. Don't think you can access it here. But again, that has just been added by the developers, and they are piloting themselves. So they're interested to see how that's going to work. But it looks like it's a really good feature, which we can close off, and it's just for the use of yourselves and the staff. We're looking to launch this as soon as possible. Now, I had a bit of an interruption in helping put it together when I was off sick, but we're looking to get this up and running. We have to give notice to the current firm Be Online, which we will give them 30 days, but then we'd like to launch this and try and promote it and make sure that people across the town are aware of it and that it's well used. So hopefully, I've given you a glimpse as to what it looks like. If you've got any questions, I'll take them now. Let's try and stop sharing this now. Stop share. There we go. There we go.
Bill, do you want to transfer the host back to me then?
How do we do that again? It's
right. Yeah. Click on me. More. Yeah. Make host. Okay. Lovely.
There we go. Make host. There you go, Angela. It should be there. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Lovely. Thank you.
Councillor Tom Hughes and then Councillor Lloyd.
Right. Yeah, it looks very impressive, Phil. Yeah, I was just wondering about on the current website, the type of web traffic that we're getting, and are we actually getting much engagement from the public?
To be honest, Thomas, not very much. We get inquiries sometimes through the news pages, but the way it's laid out, it's quite confusing to people because it's got two areas for news. So we're going to condense that into one, and it'll be on the headline front page. So that's one of the things I'm hoping would be.
Right.
Councillor. Sorry. Councillor Adam Lloyd.
Yeah, the website looks good. Are we keeping the same web address? Or does that change?
Yeah, we're keeping the same website address, transfer across with the NetWise guys, yeah.
Councillor Carr's indicated he'd like to speak.
Councillor Carr.
Thank you, Chair. Phil, is you were talking earlier on about surveys. Is Survey Monkey on a survey facility?
We can include a Survey Monkey facility on it. We can probably use that to promote any active surveys and put an archive of old surveys on. That shouldn't be an issue. The one thing that wasn't showing on there, that we'll have a YouTube link as well, social media down the side. I don't know if you could see it because I couldn't see it on my screen, is the Facebook and Twitter are already inbuilt, and they're going to build in YouTube as well. So the record of our council meetings like this will all be there for people to see instantly.
Is that Jonathan? Are you asking a question?
Yeah, please. Just a quick one. To be honest, it looks actually more impressive than it did in black and white. But what I was going to ask, in papers, it mentioned something about that there's going to be like a secure area on the site.
Yeah.
What is that referring to? It's just I'm by no means an expert with WordPress, but I know enough to it just set alarm bells off because one of the issues with WordPress is the security of it.
Yeah, you probably know more than me, Jonathan, because I am not an expert on websites. But it will be they're calling it a forum area where it can only be accessed by people. I think it'd be password controlled. So we're intending to store private council documents there, and we can open up forum rooms for councillors on specific issues or on general issues, where as many or a few of you as you want can actually join in as a group and have a conversation on there.
Okay, thank you. That's pretty much answered.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, actually,
go on.
Go on.
How much are we paying at the moment for the current arrangement with? Well,
I think it's £20 a month at the moment.
Right. Okay. So it's quite a bit more.
It's a bit more, yeah.
Right.
Okay, so can I ask if there's no more comments? Can you all agree that, please?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thanks. We'll let you know about the
when
launch.
it's running. Right, perfect. You will have noticed that Edward Philippa and Peter Dixon have joined us. They're just, unfortunately, I have to tell them we're on item 7, moving on to item 8 of the 15 items on the agenda, but we will get to you, don't worry about it. If anybody can hear that noise, it is in fact the server has decided to go into cool mode in my room. So hopefully it won't last too long. Item 8, Chair, is the AGAR, the Annual Governance and Return. It was on the agenda in the hope that PKF Littlejohn would have got back to us as our external auditors. They haven't. So could you please defer that item until our January meeting?
Yes.
Thank you, because I have nothing to report to you.
Agreed.
Does everyone agree?
Agreed.
Yeah.
Thank you. Item number 9. Low secure unit, McGull Health Park. Members are asked to note their consultation and consider a response, page 26.
Oh, hang on.
Page 26. Hospital.
Right. If you just want to note it, maybe you just like to indicate that, and then at least you've been informed about it, but you may not want to put in a formal response.
Yeah. Note.
Okay. Lovely. Thank you.
Noted.
Item number 10. NALC Consultation Committee and Standards in Public Life. Members are asked to note the consultation and consider the response, pages 27 to 29.
Once again, if nobody has any particular comments that they would like to make about it, everybody just wanted to ask our opinion, really, just before this committee meeting. Can we just be marked down as noted? It is about the standards and public life. It's about your code of conduct, and so I put it on in case you had any comments, but if you don't, it's cool.
Right.
I'm picking up there's not too many comments, so maybe we could just note that, Chair.
Yeah, noted it.
Yeah.
Item number 11. Municipal calendar. Members are asked to agree the municipal calendar for the year, page 30.
Are you all okay with those proposed dates?
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Lovely. In that case, then, the meeting requests have gone out, but it's just to formally note the agenda, the calendar then.
Noted. Item number 12, Christmas agreement. Members are asked to consider the Christmas arrangement, for the council given to the current COVID-19 restrictions.
Right, there's 2 items to consider here. There's one is the Christmas tree and whether or not you're going to have a Christmas tree. And 2, it's about the Christmas close down for the town hall. So do you want to do the Christmas tree first?
Yes, please.
Bill,
Me to do that, Angela. I'll pick
please.
up on it. I thought it was necessary to have a conversation about the Christmas tree in terms of what we're doing, because my committee discussed the impact on Christmas arrangements due to COVID. What we are doing, just before I talk about the Christmas trees, we are doing an extended hamper scheme, which we're doing because we can't do the annual pensioners lunch due to COVID. So we're currently taking names. Siobhan and I are working through nominations from a wide range of organisations. We're waiting for doctor surgeries to come in now. We're looking to do around about 100 hampers, get them delivered, which would be double what we did last year. And we've actually, the committee decided to relax the criteria. So we're not just doing people 65 and over, we're doing people who are genuinely in need. And we've stressed that to the people who are in the organisations that are nominating people. So we're looking like we are going to hit 100, and we'll dedicate a team of people to do that. I've reinvigorated the Sefton CVS volunteers who are doing the shopping delivery service, and several councillors have already kindly stepped forward and say they will help with delivery. So if you know anyone who needs a hamper or you can help out in any way, please let me know and we'll put you on whatever list is relevant. So that's that. With regards to the Christmas tree, we picked up a few comments on social media and just general chit chat about the lack of a Christmas tree in Maghull. Traditionally, it's gone up in the square. The square car park has been completely revamped. I had a conversation with Simon Ito from London and Cambridge Properties last week. Yes, he would like us to pay for the Christmas tree and have it dressed. The only thing he can't define at the moment is to exactly where that Christmas tree would be located in the square, because they don't have a sleeve anymore because they've taken it out when they took the spare out. He thought the Christmas tree company might be able to do something. I think he's taken a punt there. I don't think that would happen. The Christmas tree company will deliver. They won't do much else. We've got prices for Christmas trees ranging from £280 to £780. And Alex got prices for Jenkins to dress the tree, install it and take it down again, which come to £1,000. So we are looking at around about £1,000 to £1,500, whatever we do. The other option for siting the tree, which I should have mentioned, is to put it at the entrance to KGV, where we do have a sleeve and we do have a power supply already set up. But I am advised by my colleagues that that was very unpopular a couple of years ago. So the question I'm going to ask is, do we want a tree? And if we want a tree, where do we want to site it?
Councillor Carragher has indicated she'd like to.
Yeah, try. Councillor Carragher.
Yeah, 1,500 quid for the tree is an awful lot of money, councillors. When me and Phil have been engaging with the community over the Christmas hampers, and we've got an awful lot of families in Maghull who are in a situation where they're in, I explained this in my own ward meeting, fuel poverty, essentially. If I can just go through, basically every child who goes to school has to have a fresh, clean uniform every single day. And the £20 uplift on the universal credit just about covers your gas, your washing powder to wash them said uniforms. People are at home because they've been furloughed, and these are not people who are unemployed. You know, these are people who are working or have been furloughed. Both members have been furloughed, and they're like 40% down in their income that comes in. So what you're getting is fuel poverty. People are putting more money in the gas, and like he said, they haven't got enough money. It's just a knock-on effect to COVID. So this is why we decided to extend the Christmas hampers, because there's so many families who are in need. We identified at least 20 through the family centre, and we can't even accommodate that, hence my email that went out. And I just want to thank Sean for answering, and I'll speak to you separately about that. But to spend 1,500 quid on a tree for London and Cambridge, really? Do we want to do that when we could spend it in the community? Why should we give them a tree? That's my point. Why should we give them 1,500 quid for the tree?
Councillor Loudon Boyd.
Yeah, I'd like to see a Christmas tree, but again, it's where you site it. So it doesn't seem. I've only recently been past Maghull Square, and there doesn't seem to be anywhere else you can site it. And obviously, when people are out shopping at Christmas, they want to see a Christmas tree, don't they? I don't think putting it in the KGB park is the best place to site it. maybe we have a thing for next year. But I would personally like to see a Christmas tree there.
I spoken with Simon Ito. Whatever happens this year, we'll have a conversation about getting a more permanent site next year and getting them to contribute to it. We were just thinking, because time's ticking on, what are we going to do this year?
Yeah.
Got Councillor Sayers and then Councillor Carlson.
I just want to say one thing. I have had complaints about where is our Christmas tree? Why have we not got a Christmas tree? My view on it is, I think 1,500 quid's a lot of money, but we shouldn't be having a crowd. We shouldn't be making crowds. So I don't know if that's a problem, but I would also like to see a Christmas tree in my goal. That's all I'm saying. I've got Councillor Ross Ferguson after me.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to agree with councillors who've much said about cost, and essentially for London and Cambridge, and let's face it, they can afford to buy a tree for us. I've got my own views on it and I'll keep them myself, but I would like to see a tree there. But I certainly understand what Councillor Carragher was saying about people in fuel poverty and that. It sort of goes against it really, but I think, you know, we've got to think of some of the youngsters and things like that around it who look forward to seeing a Christmas tree, and those who are just starting to realise what Christmas is about. And let's face it, this year isn't going to be much of a Christmas. But I agree with Councillor Carragher on the fact that we shouldn't be purchasing it for them. Yeah.
Councillor Sayers.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. Yeah, okay. No, I support having a Christmas tree. I was a bit surprised by people saying the one at the KGV was unpopular, because it was right by the entrance. And if I remember rightly, that was the best Christmas tree we'd ever had. It was far nicer than the one in the square, which used to put like horrible metal barriers around. It looked absolutely dreadful. And I've never seen a nice one at the square yet. But the one that we had at KGV, everyone remarked on it, and you could see it for miles away when you were driving up and down Northway. It really stood out. And I think in a time, I take on board what Councillor Carragher says, and I do agree that people are having a hard time with it. But I think externally, we're going through a really hard time, and we don't want to have a horrible utilitarian town, which is cold and barren, not recognising that Christmas is happening. So I would favour having one. I don't think 1,700 or 1,500 is too much to get the fully dressed tree. And I would definitely put it where we'd actually paid to put electric couplings in and whatever there at the entrance to the town hall. I certainly wouldn't have it at the square. I wouldn't give it to London and Cambridge. If they want a tree, let them buy one and put one in. But every time we've had one there, it's looked horrible, I've got to say. And my money's on KGV.
I've got Councillor Lloyd, Councillor Mullen and Councillor Hughes after Councillor Carlson.
I was going to say, I've got Councillor Carlson.
Thank you very much, Angela. Good evening, colleagues and councillors.
Evening.
Good evening.
I'm in support of the tree. I'd like to see more than one. I think we should have a living tree at the entrance to KGV. We spoke about this a few years ago, and I don't know what happened to it. We were meant to be buying a tree, planting it, nurturing it, and making sure that it was ready for use annually. So we haven't got this cost of £1,500, £2,000 per annum to site a tree and then throw it away. I certainly think London and Cambridge should be putting some money towards this if they want to site a tree in the square. But I do think we need to have a permanent position to the tree somewhere around the square.
Thank you, Councillor. I have got Councillor Mullen next.
Yeah, so did we say about prices? Because we said 1,500 for the one if it was going into the square, or was that the price of the one that would go into the park?
That is the top of the range price, £780 for a 30-foot tree.
And the decorations on top.
And then nearly £1,000 to dress it.
So how much can we bring it down to then, Phil? If we
Well, the cheapest one was for a 12-foot tree was £280. What would that have? The impact that you want? Because there are a range of different sizes and prices, but it's what you want to go for. I think Siobhan and I were working on the basis that you wouldn't want anything less than an 18-foot tree.
It's the dressing price that's going to cost more, to be honest.
Just for reference, the size of the tree that you had when it was at KGV was, I think it was 30 foot.
Yeah, that's what Siobhan said.
Yeah, okay. Following on from that, Chair, Councillor June Burns has indicated that she'd like to speak.
Sorry, I've got Councillor Ken Hughes first, sorry.
Yeah, and then Councillor Sayers.
Thank you, Chair. I do think £1,500 is an obscene amount of money, really, and it probably could be better spent on people in the community. But if we are going to have a tree, how about the field on the corner of Stafford Morton Way on the health centre on the opposite side of the road? You could almost plant a tree there, a permanent tree.
It's just the connection to the electricity for the lights.
Well, I'm sure, we're not in vicinity of the health centre. I'm sure we could rig up something.
Normally we rig it up to the lights if we can, the street lights.
Yeah. But I was just thinking it's opposite the square, and it's by the shops, Stafford Morton Way, by Morrison's. It's just my suggestion anyway. So.
Okay, we can have a look at that.
Yeah.
Councillor Adam Lloyd.
It's okay. That's
fair enough. Councillor June Burns.
Councillors, I agree. I think we need a tree, but I don't think we should be paying for one in the square. I think London and Cambridge are just trying to duck out of doing something here. I think the best tree was most definitely the one on KGV Field, and although we did get some objections, there wasn't that many objections. So I think people need to lift this Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. Councillor Sayers.
Yeah, thanks, Chair. I was just going to come back and say, a 12-foot tree. If we're not going to do a decent tree, then I wouldn't bother doing one because that'll just engender more criticism. Just in respect to what Councillor Hughes said, we've got the same issue here. If we put it outside Morrison's or outside Home Bargains, they're big stores. They could pay for this themselves. The tree needs to be identified with the people who pay for it, which is the people in Maghull through the town council. And just to echo what Councillor June Burns just said, the one we had, and June will remember, we had a big opening ceremony. It was lovely, but that was the best tree we've ever had. And my memory was that everybody was remarking on what a lovely tree it was. I don't remember any criticism of it whatsoever.
Councillor Carr and then Councillor Carragher.
Councillor Carr.
Thank you. There may be an opportunity here to Merseycare and Ashworth are the low secure unit in. They've put all the paperwork in. It's all been dealt with. They're looking for community engagement, community enhancement, and obviously community health and well-being. Now, if the tree creates a health and well-being benefit to the Maghull community, it might be worth contacting Merseycare. Phil, if you need Joe Rafferty's number, I've got his direct number. You can speak to him directly, and he may actually sponsor a Christmas tree for Maghull in doing something for the Maghull community, where obviously this centre of excellence is going to be based. So actually engaging with the community in doing that, and we get full engagement. They get full sponsorship of the tree. Organise it for them.
Okay, I'll certainly do that. I'll get the number off you later, Tony.
Absolutely, Carragher.
Yeah, I just want to make it clear, I was not saying no Christmas tree. I think what everybody said is a very valid point. We do need some sort of joy this year. My point being is, why would we give it to London and Cambridge if they're not prepared to put any money towards it? It's not fair. And I agree with what a lot of the councillors were saying, especially Councillor Sayers. This is the people of Maghull's tree, not an organisation's tree. It's our tree. So it should be in the focal point of Maghull. And I think it was down to Councillor Mullen and myself who first said we should have like a celebration in the KGV, because that is where our town hall is. And that is the centre of Maghull. And I think if we're going to have a tree, it's got to be about the people, not about big corporations. And I know big corporations have helped through this COVID thing. And I agree with what Councillor Carr is saying. If someone will be able to sponsor it and bring the costs down, then that's wonderful. because I am working with a lot of community organisations within the community who are helping with the Christmas hampers and the deliveries and that. So they are doing a wonderful job. But London and Cambridge just don't seem to be giving anything back to the community. And that was my point. No Christmas tree. It's just not there. Thank you.
So councillors, would we have a Christmas tree then if it wasn't put in the square? Not that I think we could put it in the square anyway with what's being done. Would we all agree to having a Christmas tree?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, definitely agreed. Agreed to that.
Yeah, agreed.
I'll explore the options and the sponsorship, and primarily the site will probably be KGB, but I will look at any other alternative sites.
Yeah.
But we're all set up to go. And I think next year we need to have something planned and ready to go, be it with London and Cambridge or whoever.
Councillor Chris Carlson.
Yeah, I just googled living tree for an 18-foot Normandy fair. It's 180 quid. So if we were to plant that at KGV, it goes about 3 foot a year. So in 5 years' time, we'd have a 30-foot tree.
All right.
But we start off with an 18-foot one. We need to stop.
This you're putting a start on it.
We need to stop throwing these trees away. It's unsustainable. We all sat here and signed an environmental policy to make this organisation more sustainable. Now, to just be throwing things away at Christmas isn't supporting that sustainability ethos of the council. Now, we need to agree that we're going to purchase a tree, we're going to plant it at KGV, and we're going to use it annually. That's sustainable. Trees grow every year, absorb carbon dioxide, and breathe out oxygen. What's more sustainable?
Yeah, great idea. Get a real one.
I agree.
And creatures live in it.
I've got Councillor Sharp and Councillor Ferguson.
Councillor Ferguson first.
Yeah, just a suggestion off the top of my head about, when talking about siting it, and if we're talking about getting a living tree, yeah, I agree totally that that's putting KGV. For this year, is there any possibility we could contact Merseyside Police and ask if we could put one up in front of the police station? Because the grass there, I don't know whether anyone thinks that would work. Because surely London and Cambridge down the station as well.
That's a good idea.
I don't think people would say it, would they?
Well, obviously, I'm sure Merseyside Police would be more than welcome and more than receptive to say.
I think Councillor Doherty's already offered to make the contact with the police, so I'll ask him to just check if that's a possibility.
Get in touch with Special Branch.
Then does that take away?
Appalling. No, that truly was appalling, and we can't put it out of the live streaming. No.
Would that take away what we were talking about before with having the tree as ours?
No, I don't think so, because it's completely over the road. It's nothing to do with London and Cambridge. Advertise it so I put it up here, because enough people know London and Cambridge have already said, no, you're not having the tree this year. No, I mean, I feel like I saw on social media the same thing, and the disappointment was there. I think it's one of those situations is if you have a tree, you want to know about it. I don't have to more about it.
I can't hear them.
Can I just say, I think the police station's a great idea because it would build good community relations between us and the police as well, which we do need to build up on that. And it's also highlighting, the police station, be safe, be aware during this time, because the police, it might bring the police a bit of a cheer as well after all the hard time they've been through.
Yeah.
Can I bring Ross back in? Ross, can you repeat what you were just saying, because it was all breaking up for me? Sorry.
From what you want to, I was saying that we've seen it on social media, criticism, etc. But
this might be a problem, Ross.
Yeah, it is. You're breaking up, Councillor Ferguson. It may be an idea possibly to leave and rejoin. Right, that came over clearly. So yes, if we move on, Councillor Sharp did indicate that he wanted to speak. So if you want to move to Councillor Sharp, I'll
Sorry,
try and
Councillor
sort out
Sharp.
Councillor Ferguson.
Excuse me, Chair, if you're not speaking, switch your mics off, that might help.
Yeah, it does when I'm in the same room as someone. It doesn't when in a different room.
It is an issue with the office. Do you want to have another go, Councillor Ferguson, and see whether or not it's slightly clearer for you now? And we'll mute Councillor.
Yeah. Yeah. How's that good? Was it still breaking up?
No, it's no better. Never mind.
Right.
Never mind.
Okay. Just.
I can't hear them at all though.
That's because he's muted.
Ross, go on chat and type it, and we can all read.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Go on, yeah.
Right, what I'm going to do to Councillor Ferguson is I'm going to put him in the waiting room and then readmit him.
Now, in the meantime, should I put in Councillor Sharp here?
Yeah, and I'm just going to then readmit Councillor Ferguson.
Right, Councillor Sharp.
I spoke to Simon Ito from London and Cambridge a couple of weeks ago regarding the tree when I noticed it wasn't going to be available, and he gave a rationale as to why that was going to be the case. Which was well, a bit problematic. But it was in essence that the car park, they didn't think it would get finished, and they thought the footfall would be low and the investment would be too much and hadn't been getting rents in. But they did say they were going to put the lights up as they do normally on the facades of the shops. But they also made a commitment, certainly for next year, that they were going to put a living tree outside the Halifax, which has been on the cards for about a year or two now. But they reaffirmed that idea that they would put a tree outside the Halifax in future years, which links into Chris's sustainability, hopefully, as well. But that doesn't remedy this year's problem.
Thank you, Councillor. Are there any other questions? Yeah, Councillor John Sayers.
Yeah, Chair. I mean, could I just move that to settle this? I mean, the police station's a good idea. They're selling the police station, and we're going to have to negotiate with them. We've only got it's the 1st of December next week. Can we just move that we buy one of these living trees that Chris has identified and get it installed at the entrance to KGV, where we've got all the connections set up, and then we'll look at it again next year as to whether we're going to have another tree somewhere else or London and Cambridge. But at least the town council will have our one that will grow another 3 foot in a year. So I move that we just get on, buy a living tree, put it at KGV, get it dressed, and have a Merry Christmas.
I second that.
Great, yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, please.
Lovely.
Thank you.
The other thing that I wanted to mention around Christmas was the close down for the town hall. Normally the town hall closes on Christmas Eve round and about 3 o'clock-ish, and it doesn't reopen then until the day after New Year's Day. The dates this year, however, because of COVID, your staff haven't taken as much leave as they would normally do, and therefore I was going to propose that we close on the 23rd, which is the Wednesday. And unless you are minded to give your staff an extra day's leave out of the goodness of your hearts, then we would take a day's leave for the 24th. We already keep 2 days back from the allowance for the time between Christmas and New Year. And we now take a day's leave for that. So it would end up being taken 2 days leave and 2 days that are kept from us, and we would close on the 23rd of December and we would reopen on the 4th of January, which is the Monday.
Councillor Carragher.
Can I move that we give our staff an extra day's leave for all the hard work that they've done over the COVID?
I'll second that.
Lovely. I've got to ask you.
Can I speak on this one, please?
Yeah.
Councillor June Burns.
we've had, I mean, we had this discussion years ago, didn't we, where it used to be, what was it called, a privilege day, that you used to have the time off anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, the Sefton staff, all Sefton staff take Christmas holidays unpaid. All they get is their Christmas days, and they've worked especially hard as well. So I always sits wrong with me that we see ourselves separately as Maghull Town Council, but we want to fall into line on other things. So I'm not quite sure about that myself.
Councillor Carlson has indicated he wishes to speak.
Councillor Carlson, then Councillor Adam Lloyd.
Yeah, that what you're talking about there, that shutdown, that 3-day shutdown by Sefton Council, was brought in as an austerity measure by the Conservative government in 2008-9. Sefton Council staff used to be able to take holidays between Christmas and New Year, and were paid for it. It was agreed to stop redundancies. The staff voted for it because I was actually working for Sefton at the time. So that's what Sefton did. Again, public sector is being hit by this Conservative government yet again. I think we should be giving our staff a day off because of the hard work. I don't think we should be looking at what other councils do. We should be doing what we do and rewarding our staff for the hard work dedication.
Councillor Adam Lloyd.
Yeah, just to reply to Councillor Burns, I think the whole point of us being separate is that we can make our own decisions, and if we feel that the staff are warranted having an extra day off, then I think we should give them the extra day off. So I would agree.
Okay, Chair, there's a proposal before the council.
Right, so
it's moved and seconded.
So I should say, all those in favour? Can I see a right hands?
What?
Of
what, Josh? All favour of what?
On the staff having an extra day off.
Are we doing it in the chat, Josh?
No, put your hands up, or don't put your hands up. Sorry.
Some people haven't got film, no?
No, it's fine. It's fine. You've actually got some people aren't showing, but there's there's a majority to agree.
I'll put my hand up as well.
Yeah, there's a majority there, Councillor. Thank you very much. I will pass that on to the staff. They will be very grateful. Thank you very much for your kind words. Okay.
Thank you for the help.
All right, item 13, Chair.
Item 13, Chair's closing comments. I have got some. I won't keep this long, I'm sorry. All I just want to say, hope all is well. Let me see if I've got this right. Although the weather wasn't good, I just want to thank Tom and Ken Hughes for laying a wreath at St Andrews on Remembrance Sunday and standing there with me till past 11 o'clock. I also want to thank other councillors who couldn't attend, who were laying wreaths around the borough for Sefton Council. And thank you for showing your respect. I also want to thank all the office staff for making it happen. And I wish you all a great evening and a wonderful week. And thank you for attending this meeting. I know we haven't finished yet, but thank you for attending. Take care and keep safe. And that's my closing comments.
Lovely, thank you, Chair. If you want to move on to item 14.
Item 14, exclusion of the press and public. That
I wouldn't worry about reading all of that out. I would just say that is everybody happy to exclude the press and public due to the confidential nature of the next item, which is information from your legal team regarding the planning hearing.
Yeah, but we're still on live stream, you know, Angela.
I know, but until you agree to pass the resolution, we are live streaming. When you pass the resolution, we go off.
Agreed.
Lovely. Thank you.
All agreed.